Welcome to the Hockey Writers Chicks and Sticks, a weekly show hosted by some of our best female hockey writers, bringing you the latest news, rumors, trades, player grades, game results, and much more. From talking hockey with NHL personalities to tackling the latest big issues, our team covers everything hockey and more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some Chicks and Sticks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 27 of Chicks and Sticks, brought to you by the Hockey Writers. My name is Melissa Boyd, and I'm once again joined by my partners in crime, Christy Flannery, Hannah Garfield, and Mariah Stark. How you doing tonight, ladies?
What up?
Hello.
Happy to be here.
Yes, happy to be here because we have a very special guest tonight. We love when we have guests. It's even more fun than with just four. So tonight we have our fellow THW colleague, Raylene Lung, who covers the Dallas Stars at THW. Hi, Raylene. Welcome to the show.
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. I feel like you're going to teach us a lot tonight. So.
Oh, God, I hope so. Or else you'll be like, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Why? Yeah. No, I'm not worried at all. All right, so just before we start, just a reminder that if you're enjoying our show, make sure to drop us a like, a follow, or a comment from wherever you're watching or listening, and send us in any questions you may have. We'll answer them in a future episode. So yeah, as we saw, we have a lot of questions for Raylene about the Dallas Stars. So let's dive right in. Christy, I think you have the first question.
Yeah, so welcome. Happy to have you here. So for the Dallas Stars, I feel like there's always a high expectation around them. They have a lot of star power, Seguin's healthy, but they're really off to a slow start. What do you kind of make of that? And what do you think needs to change as they continue the season?
Oh, God. Well, honestly, where do I begin? The first thought that came to my mind was oof, because that's kind of been the Dallas situation since the regular season began. Honestly, I think in terms of where they're at, I sort of think that they kind of didn't have the most strong start in the preseason. You thought I had hope. I had the one thing that kills every hockey fan, hope. I was like, maybe once the regular season starts, they'll pull their shit together and it'll be okay. But they haven't found their mojo. I mean, well, they won some games, but I'll start with at the beginning of the season, they didn't have their mojo. Yeah, they had a couple players that were coming off of injuries in the summer and stuff. Like you said, Christy Seguin was one of them. Bishop was another one. Radulov, and I think that might have been having those guys not play and then kind of coming in maybe upset the sort of chemistry of the team. But if I could have the solution as to why they were sucking so bad at the beginning of the regular season, I wish that I had any sort of explanation. I wish I could apologize on behalf of them, but I can't. And I don't know, in terms of what needs to change, I know that Bowness head coach, the head coach is Rick Bowness. He has kind of been moving the lines around the preseason. It was a lot of just testing stuff out, shifting players around.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they've won their past 2 games in regulation, I might add, which has not been their strong suit either. So this may be the line adjustments that they've made might be, I don't want to jinx them. I don't want to say that this is good because I'm actually worried I'm going to jinx them. But yeah, so I hope that they can figure it out. But I think the line changes are maybe the most crucial right now in terms of getting them where they need to be.
If the line changes don't work out and kind of the slow start continues to not just a slow start, but a slow season, what are some do you think major changes would be happening, and what do you think those changes would be?
Oh, good question, Hannah. I don't know. Honestly, I think, like I said, the line changes is a huge thing. I think just figuring out where certain guys need to be. Also, the veteran players like Jamie, Benn. Honestly, if I can focus on him for a second, he had a very sluggish start to the season. Just was not putting up any points. He's one of their goal scorers. He's one of their faces of the franchise. He was just not doing what he needed to do. So I don't know. Does Bowness need to kick him and other veteran players in the ass a little bit? Maybe, I don't know, you like push the veterans to be like lead, because I don't think that Benn is necessarily being a leader. I don't know. I mean, Seguin's done better. I think that he's not quite in the same sort of slump as Benn was at the beginning of the regular season. And I mean, he's doing better now, but I think, yeah, it's just a matter of pushing those veterans to be leaders, figuring out what guys go where, relying on the younger guys too, like Jason Robertson. He had his first season with the Dallas Stars last season, and he's been impressive. I like Jason Robertson. I have a crush on Jason Robertson. And yeah, and also, I mean, I also love Jacob Peterson. I know he's AHL, but he's been coming up for a couple games, and I think that young talent is really crucial for the Stars right now. I think relying on them is going to be critical in making sure that they, I don't want to jinx them. I just don't. Every time I say it, I'm like, as soon as I say that they're doing well, they're going to lose tonight to Minnesota.
Just gonna say that's totally okay with you jinx them, because I will take a win for the Wild. And speaking of the Wild, Dallas took away one of my favorite defensemen, Ryan Suter. How has he fit into the lineup, and do you like him overall?
I like Ryan Suter. I think that he's a big boy. He's a large boy. He's a good defenseman. He's an offense. I think he's kind of like, I don't know if people would define him this way, but I kind of define him as like an offensive defenseman. He put up a goal the other night against Detroit. He was right up in there. Like, I think, plus he's got veteran energy. He's got veteran experience. Honestly, I think he's being more of a leader to the team and more of a veteran leader to the team than Jamie Benn is, honestly. I don't know if you agree with that, Mariah, or not, but I think that he is.
Whenever he plays, he has that, I don't know how you would say it, aura, I guess, around him of just being a natural leader.
He glows on the ice. You're like, there's Ryan Suter.
I love the phrase veteran energy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that he has been a good addition to the team. I really liked that Dallas picked him up. I think he's fit in well with the lineup, and yeah, like I said, I think he's been more of a leader than some of the so-called leaders on the Stars so far. So you can't have him; he's ours now.
I say we miss him up here, but
yeah, I'm sure you guys do. I'm sure you do.
So Ryan Suter was a big free agent signing in the off season, but it's kind of go the other way this summer, as the Stars themselves have a lot of pending unrestricted free agents: Joe Pavelski, Alex Radulov, John Klingberg, and there's a few others. So that's already a big chunk. Do you see any of them coming back, or maybe if the season continues this way, maybe traded away at the trade deadline? How do you see that shaking out?
Honestly, this is the most stressful question because they have a lot of UFAs. Like it makes me want to puke, honestly, because I think like, well, the way I see it is you've got like the diehard Dallas guys. Like I think that guys like Klingberg and Radulov, like I don't really see them giving up, quote unquote, on the team and trying to look for places elsewhere. I think that they would hope that they would stay with the Stars. You also mentioned Klingberg, Radulov. There's so many that I actually can't remember. It's like half the team. I'm like, this is so depressing.
Yeah, I named 3, but there was like a lot.
Yeah, there's like 7 or 8 of them. Joe Pavelski is also one of them. Yeah. He's one of the ones that I'm not sure. I think, again, he's like a veteran player. He's had a decent time in Dallas. I think he's adjusting well. I think he cares a lot about the team and has invested a lot of his skills and his leadership into the team. But I don't know. I also see him as one of those guys. It's like, yo, if this team doesn't pull its shit together, I might just piece. Like, I don't know. I don't know if he's one of the diehard Dallas guys or not, but Klingberg would never, Radulov would never, like, I don't think that Radulov would leave Benn Seguin like that. I think he would stay. I think he's a diehard Dallas guy. And plus I think people see Klingberg and Radulov as sort of faces of the franchise, like faces of the franchise. I think it'd be weird if they were to leave, if they're, I don't think they would leave. I don't want them to leave.
I feel like Pavelski really wants a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like chomping at the bit. And if
Yeah.
Dallas can't give it to him, I think he's going to be like, bye-bye, you know?
Yeah.
So Dallas has a goaltending depth that Edmonton is just probably so envious of. In addition to having Ben Bishop on IR, who I think Edmonton would still take, even though he's on IR. Do you think any of them are going to be traded by the deadline? I know that for Carolina, they got rid of 4 goaltenders over the offseason. Do you see that turnover happening for your club?
Honestly, Dallas in general has just a lot going on. Capital A, capital L, a lot going on. The goaltending situation has been the trickiest, kind of most wishy-washy thing since the preseason, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I think, and Bonus has said time and time again, he's like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, this goaltender's been solid in net. This goaltender's been solid in net. I know at the beginning of the season, I wasn't too sure about the Holtby situation, just because coming from the Canucks, it was like not looking good. And I was like, oh, is this a bad call? Like, is this a bad call to bring Braden Holtby in? But then he kind of showed up a little bit and I was like, damn, okay. He was kind of the one that I was like putting an X through, but now I'm not sure. So that's a complicated question. And I don't know, Christy, if I can give you like a solid answer of like.
Let me ask you this then. Do you think that the tandem that they had in Vegas with Fleury and Leonard going back and forth, do you think that's something that would work in Dallas, or you think that would work against them? Like, you think they need a definitive number one?
You know what? No, because I think like, not that I'm saying that none of the goaltenders have been really consistent, but I think it just depends. And I think there's nights where Holtby has had really strong nights in net. I think Khudobin has had some really good nights, but he's also had some not so great nights. And, Jake Oettinger, he was like a baby. He was like a little baby goalie coming in and everyone was like, oh, is he going to be able to, but I think he showed up. He's probably the one that I think is obviously the least strongest out of all of them. And I don't know, the Ben Bishop situation, like he's technically been approved to play, but he's still not playing. So I'm not sure what Dallas is thinking there.
Don't tell Edmonton.
Yeah. That's my other team. So I'm like, honestly, if he goes to Edmonton, I don't really care. But so I think again, it's tricky. I would honestly be okay if they just sort of had more than one number one, because Dallas has sort of had a history of that anyway. So I don't necessarily think that one needs to push out the other. Plus, none of them have been really solidly consistent since the regular season began. Like, it's just kind of been like, is it going to be their night or not? I don't know. I never know.
I'm going to throw another tough question at you.
Hit me, Mariah.
We already talked about Benn and Seguin. Do you think Dallas can be a Stanley Cup contender with those guys, or do they need to move younger?
Good question. I think, like I said, I'm like very meh about Jamie Benn these days. Like I said, he's not being a leader. And even he is the face of the franchise. And I think if you're given that sort of expectation, that you should live up to it. And I don't know if he is. Do I think that they're going to be Stanley Cup contenders this season? I don't know. I should say yes, because they're like my boys, but I'm also like losing faith in them a little bit sometimes. So, but I don't know. I think that the main thing is like both Benn and Seguin want to be there. And I think that is kind of the thing that's sort of keeping them motivated at the end of the day. Like, I don't think that they want a Stanley Cup. They both really want a Stanley Cup. Seguin's itching for a Stanley Cup. He hasn't had a Stanley Cup since he was a literal like infant in Boston. Like he's like, he sort of had the dream really young, and now he's like, damn, is that it? Like, I kind of want to keep going. And I think removing them from the team entirely and just saying like, oh yeah, I feel like Dallas could be a Stanley Cup contender without them, I don't think that's true. I think that there's aspects of their playing and aspects of their leadership, albeit small at this time, that the team needs to kind of bring them forward. Plus, I'm impressed. Like, Seguin has come back pretty strong after his whole quad debacle. Like, I was not expecting that, to be perfectly honest. I was like, this might be, he had a slightly slow start, but then he kind of turned it out. And then Ben kind of just didn't. So I sound like I really hate JB Benn, but I don't, I promise. I just like want him to be better. Like I just like he's the dad. Like he needs to be the dad and he's not being the dad of the team. And I have my feelings about that. So
No, I think that's fair. And speaking as probably one of the few people in Boston that still likes Tyler Seguin, there is a part of me that like if the Bruins don't win, I would like to see him win another Stanley Cup.
right, he needs it. He deserves it. It's been like 10 years.
Literally 10 years.
Literally 10 years.
2011.
Yeah.
So I guess, kind of a final question to start wrapping things up is, since Dallas is a smaller market, team, do you feel like Miro Heiskanen is one of the more underappreciated defensemen in the league?
I am so glad that this is a question because I love Miro Heiskanen. he's like a young kid. And like I'm constantly kind of pushing the whole like Dallas needs young stars agenda because their roster is aging. Sadly, Benn and Seguin used to be like the hot young ones, and now they're like Benn is over 30, and Seguin's not far behind him. And so I think Miro Heiskanen is one of those guys that actually I feel like could fall into the category of like maybe a new face for the franchise, and he kind of sort of is, and he has been the player I think that has made the most quote unquote like NHL progress since he got into the league. Like I think he's the one guy that I've noticed like consistent like difference between each of the seasons that he's played with Dallas. And I think this season too is like his like graduation. Like he's ready. Like he's like, no more tiny little like errors and mistakes. Like I think he's been really solid. And yeah, he's an extremely underrated defenseman. People don't talk about him enough or in Dallas, I don't think, at least not now. I think it was sort of, he was the talk of the town when he first came into the team because they were all like, oh, Miro Heiskanen, this Finnish boy, like, what's he going to do? And I think he's done work and put in work and made an impression on the team and sort of embedded himself in the team's kind of culture. And I think, yeah, he's only 22, which is crazy. He's like a small child. But yeah, he's gritty. His playmaking, like I said, has grown exponentially since he started. I think his first season was like 2017 to 2018 season. Don't quote me on that though, because I might be wrong. And yeah, like I'm team make Miro Heiskanen the face of the franchise. Like I'm on that team. I'm on that list. I'm like, yeah, put him up there. He's great. I do think he's extremely underrated. So I'm so glad you guys asked that question.
Some of the best ones are.
Right? It's always, and like underdog energy a little bit. I don't know. Like, I don't think people expected him to be who he is. And he's been, he's been really solid, really good. And Dallas needs a solid defenseman. So I'm glad that they have him.
Wasn't he selected after Heischer and Patrick? Was he that draft?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
I bet the Devils and Flyers regret passing on him because I feel like they both need defensemen.
Yep.
I'd say definitely the Flyers.
She's just like,
yeah.
I will defend my captain to the death. So we are happy with Nico. We are very happy with Nico.
Well, I was going to say he's 22, but he has a nice 8-year deal there. So I don't, it's nice.
Good 8-year deals.
the one Hannah would approve.
Yes, Hannah would approve of this 8-year deal.
I do, because he's 22.
Not 32.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right. Well, this is a kind of a tradition on Chicks and Sticks, Raylene. When we have a guest, we like to do a little bit of a rapid fire round. So we're going to put you under the microscope here. Obviously, it's all fun. Don't worry. So we'll start. What is your go-to coffee order?
Ooh, okay, this is kind of a weird thing, but I've sort of like invented this drink. Okay, hear me out though. Standard latte, whatever milk preference, usually I go soy, and then maple syrup to sweeten it with cinnamon. It's like a French toast latte, and it is so good. So good. Highly recommend.
The Canadian on this panel approves of the
I'm Canadian too, so it very much
there
fits.
you go.
my culture, I guess.
Put maple syrup in everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What is your go-to game day outfit?
I'm not, okay, this might be controversial, but I'm not a big jersey wearer. I'm more of a hats girl. Like I'll wear,
Me too.
right? Like it's just, I just think it's like a subtle, plus the hats always have such cool like logos and designs on them.
Font, yeah.
Right? And then, I don't know, something comfy because you're going to be sitting, standing the entire time. Something baggy jeans so that all the beers can fit comfortably and I don't have to undo my pants at the game. You guys all know what I'm talking about.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Not to get away from that, but what's your favorite hockey memory?
Okay, so fun fact, I actually went to my very first hockey game when I was 4 days old. My parents, grew up in Edmonton. My parents were huge Oilers fans, and 4-day-old me, they thought it would be a good idea to expose me to that hockey world early. So, I mean, it's not really a memory because I don't remember it. If I had to choose a specific memory though, as I mentioned before, besides Dallas, Oilers are also my hometown team. And I'm a fan of them. And I think one of my favorite moments was when I went to their playoff game against the Sharks, 2016, 2017. It was the game that won them the round, and Rogers Place was like lit up. It was crazy. Like I actually have never heard a hockey arena be that loud. And I still think about it to this day, how, because Oilers fans are passionate. Like, and not that not all hockey fans are, but like Oilers fans are like screaming. And like, I just remember like there was a guy standing next to me, just like every time something happened, he was yelling, whether it was good or bad. I was like, I can't focus. Like there's a man yelling. There's so many orange flags everywhere. It was great. It was awesome.
Oh, I love passionate hockey fans.
Right?
So next question is, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Okay, you guys can tell me if this is a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie, but The Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite Christmas movie.
I love that we all knew what you were talking about before we even said the title. We all knew where this was going.
Yeah, as soon as I said Halloween, you were like, oh, okay.
It's both. I think that one's both.
It's both, right? Because it's about Christmas, but it's based in, I watch
Tim Burton. Yeah,
exactly. You watch it. I watch it at Halloween and at Christmas, but it's my favorite. It's as old as I am, which is terrifying, but it's great. It's one of my favorites.
So based on what you've seen so far around the NHL, who is your very early pick to win the Stanley Cup?
Not Dallas. I love them, but like, I don't know, unless they like really turn it out. I don't know if the Stanley Cup playoffs are in their favor or not, but again, crazier things have happened. I'm going to say, I'll say the Oilers, because they've had a really solid start to the regular season. And that's not just because I'm biased. They've won more games than they've lost. They have been not doing typical Oiler things and actually playing consistently in the beginning of the season. And I think right now they're sitting like second in the Pacific Division, and I think 7th in the league overall. They just got bumped down. They were 3rd a couple days ago, but then they lost to Winnipeg. So it is what it is, but I'm going to say them. It's very early to say that because a lot can change. And again, they have a history of being not consistent, having a really, really good streak and then dropping off. So who's to say if that happens, but I'm hoping Dallas can do the opposite. I'm hoping Dallas, maybe, you know what? I should have just said Dallas just for fun. Then it would have been hilarious, because then I would have been like, remember that time I had no faith in my own team, but then they turned it out and now they're in the playoffs.
We are all known for our biases towards our team, so it's
okay.
okay.
Did we all forget what happened with the St. Louis Blues?
Yeah.
True.
Oh, don't remind me.
Yeah, please don't remind me either.
It's true. So that was fun. Thanks for doing that. Another tradition we've started this season on Chicks and Sticks is we kind of want to end the show on a positive, fun note. So we kind of go around the table and what was your favorite moment of the week, or what you're looking forward to in the coming week. I always learn something in these round tables because I'm like, oh yeah, that's how I forgot about that. So please teach me something, ladies. Raylene, we'll start with you as our guest. So what are you looking forward?
Can I pick 2 favorite moments?
Of course.
Okay. I'll pick an Oilers moment and a Dallas moment. Dallas moment actually happened against the Red Wings on Tuesday. Again, my crush, Jason Robertson, wraparound goal. I'm obsessed. He had this incredible wraparound goal. I think it was on the 3rd period, just kind of like went around the back of the Red Wings net and just like snuck it in. Like I didn't even see it. It was like that smooth. And I'm like still thinking about it. Maybe it's because I have a crush on him. I don't know, but I just loved it. Then second favorite moment, when the Oilers played the Blues, they played against them on Sunday. It was an extremely close game and a really back and forth game. 27 seconds left of the 3rd period. It was 4-4. Kyler Yamamoto nets one. We take the win against the St. Louis Blues, which was like, I was dreading that game. And it was an incredible goal. And he's so small. You just see his like tiny little 5'8" frame, just like scooting up the ice. And you're like, please get it in. And sure enough, he did it. He impressed me. And it was amazing. Loved it. And then what am I most looking forward to this week? Can I say the game that I'm currently watching that Mariah is also watching? I'm hoping that Dallas can crush the Wild, please, because they're in the middle of their sort of winning streak right now, and I kind of just need them to keep doing that. Otherwise, I'm once again going to lose a little bit of faith. Like the ball needs to keep rolling for Dallas. And I'm really excited to see what they do tonight, because they actually have played the last 2 games that they won were some of the most like full out playing that they've done since the season started. Like I actually saw a hockey team playing hockey and not just skating around with their eyes shut. So sorry, Mariah. I really want my boys to stomp on your boys tonight. I'm so sorry.
I keep seeing Suter pop up and I'm just like, wait, that's not the right green.
Like, change your jersey.
Christy.
Oh, May.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about a franchise that we never talk about. I think Tuesday night was a great night for Anaheim Ducks fans. So much happened. And the reason I know this is because I'm doing Friday favorites for the newsletter, like shameless plug. And so many good things happened. Getzlaf got 1,000. The Ducks got 1,000 victories. Terry is on, he's just on like it's just ridiculous. There's so many good things. The fact that everything happened on home ice, like those fans deserved that night. And I could not be happier for them.
Who had the Ducks doing so well this season, huh? They're on fire.
I know.
Not the doctor.
Not the doctor. The doctor did not, but he has his first row seats. So
yeah.
He's enjoying it.
I actually thought of him the other day. I had it on and I was like, oh, he must be enjoying himself this season.
It was, yeah, I was really so happy for that fan base. Good for them. So happy for them.
Definitely. Mariah, how about you?
Well, Wild fans have 2 names on their memories, Pitlick and Hartman. Those 2 literally Pitlick had a hat trick and Hartman had a hat trick and assists. All 3 goals were from both of them, and 2 of them were basic carbon copies, and I was extremely happy with those 2. Not so happy with my main scorers, but that's a whole nother topic. So the game against Seattle. Looking forward to, well, I'll say it, Raylene, the Wild beating Dallas at home, because they need to get back in the winning circle after their game the other night that I was very disappointed in. So I'm going to go there.
You know, I'm going to send you a Slack message immediately after. And it's either going to be me gloating or it's just going to be a bunch of crying emojis.
Hannah, how about you?
Well, my top moment was that my team beat Mel and Christy's team over the weekend.
You had to bring it up, didn't you?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes,
what else was I going to say?
Almost forgot about that, Hannah.
Because Boston, the Bruins did not beat my team. Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand beat my team. It's a very big difference.
Is there a team outside of Patrice
Apparently not. Apparently that's all you guys have. That's all you need, apparently.
Yeah. And what I'm looking forward to is them actually playing another game at some point. Because again, the schedule makers this season were really off their game. I pun intended, because the Bruins have had ridiculous breaks in their season and they haven't played since Sunday and they won't play until Saturday.
This is like the epitome of like you had one job to do
Yeah.
Yes.
and you didn't do it. This is the meme.
Who's ever in charge is just like looking and they're like, oh,
Ooh.
big cap.
Makes
Anyway.
no sense. Makes no sense.
Like,
No.
you know, like the Canadians have, I think, like 6 games in hand on like half the league because they've played 18 games already. So
Yeah, Bruins have played 13.
yeah. So,
I think the Devils have too.
so yeah. Interesting. Well, mine, I'll be just really quick. My moment from this week was seeing Kim St. Pierre go into the Hockey Hall of Fame. And the official induction ceremony happened this week. And of course, it's always nice to see a woman get that recognition. And actually, she was also honored tonight before the Habs Penguins game. So it was, and got a really nice ovation. So that was really nice to see. And I have a lot of great memories of watching her play for Team Canada and winning some gold medals. So that was pretty cool.
Love that.
Yeah. So that wraps up our show. That went by really fast. Always does. I'm like, oh, it's already over. I want to keep going. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week. Raylene, thank you so much for joining us. We had a blast. We definitely learned a lot about the Stars, and hopefully they can turn it around. If not, we'll have you back on.
Yeah, I'll be extremely angry. I'll be yelling if if they don't turn it around.
Yeah, or if something, crazy happens and a big change happens, we'll definitely have you back on about it. And while you wait for our next episode next week, be sure to check out all the other shows being produced by the Hockey Writers on YouTube every day. Be sure you're subscribed so you're not missing any episodes. We have a lot of great shows about a lot of teams. And of course, I have to, well, Christy already did her shameless self-plug, but I will repeat it. If you're not signed up for the Morning Skate, you're really missing out. So go sign up, morningskate.io. They do an awesome job. And if you want to start your day with a smile on your face, that's how you do it.
We work hard.
And follow us on social media. We're everywhere. All the social media networks, just give us a follow. And we're on Discord even for you, young folks who are into that. Not me, but we're having a lot of great chats about our different teams. So be sure to join us on our Hockey Lounge Discord channel. And last thing, make sure you're checking out our team daily downloads that we publish every day on the website, because in case you missed a game, we'll catch you up right away with all the latest stats and info. And with that, see you next week.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It was a pleasure.